Okay, and what would you say are the timelines involved for getting these results?
So, I mean, again, part of this is like a recognition that this is an ongoing evolution. Like, I don't know of any company that's like, okay, we're done, everything works, nothing needs to change, we're perfectly good. I mean, we're in a time, for better and worse, of just continuous change, happening in the market. I mean, even aside from the craziness of 2020, new channels, new devices, new expectations of customers. And so at some level, you almost get yourself into a pattern where you're like, okay, this is a job that it's not a project. It's not like, we'll do this once and it's done. It becomes almost part of our DNA, almost part of our operating system of how we run our business. All right, so that was not actually answering your question. I guess what I would say is, for folks who are early in this process, I would generally expect, like, okay, you want to allocate at least 6 to 12 months to be able to, get the right people, get the right, mapping of who's doing what, start to understand how that relates to the customer journey. Like, that's a lot of work there. And so I think doing it in anything less than 6 months is probably not, giving it enough due. That being said, I've been watching what companies have done in the past few months in response to COVID-19, and it is amazing. Digital transformation is one of those buzzwords that when you talk to companies about, okay, well, what are your plans for digital transformation? They'd be like, oh, well, it's going to take us a year to do this, and it's going to take us another 2 years to do this thing, and then maybe 3 years from now, we'll get to this other thing. And everyone's like, yeah, that's probably how long it's going to take. And then this COVID crisis happens, and companies basically get forced into like, okay, we have no choice. We have to change some way to like actually engage, these customers. We have to find some way to be able to operate our business in this more distributed, way. And like in a matter of months, things that we would have previously said, yeah, that's going to be a 3-year project. People did it in like 3 months. And I think there's a lesson that we can kind of take away from that of like, we might actually be more adaptable and more agile than we really gave ourselves credit for. And I think it'll be really interesting when we get past this crisis, where the new level set is on how quickly a company can actually move once they decide, yes, we want to do this.
Yeah, it's quite an exciting time ahead. Obviously, I know we've had COVID, which has been terrible, but like you say, how companies have quickly thought something that they maybe would have pondered for a year, 2 years. Do you know what I mean? But in a matter of months, it's just they've had to push things through. So it's quite exciting what the future holds in terms of that.
Yeah, I think we've learned a lot, at least on the corporate transformation side, there's probably more we have to learn, in the bigger picture too, but I'm optimistic we will learn from this too. And definitely. A brighter future ahead.